What do you see as the top 3 issues facing the city of San Luis Obispo, and how do you plan to address those?
Open space is number one. Number two is, I want to say transportation, and housing, number three. So number one, I would strongly oppose any growth in our open space areas. It's the last that we have. We have 7,000 acres of open space. We have hiking trails that people can go on, but we need to preserve that open space. I would not allow people or want them to even consider building there. We have transportation issues in the way that, like in Laguna Lake area, it gets very crowded at a certain time of day, and that's going to expand as we have more housing there. But the bike lanes, we have those. We don't necessarily think about pedestrians. So when I'm talking about transportation of all types, buses, we need to make it easier for people. Our bus system, you oftentimes, if you take it, you got to wait a half an hour between each transit, and that, I think, deters people wanting to ride the bus. Let's look at other cities, other countries, and how they do it. I've been to Europe and just one time, but it was really a pleasure and joyful, and you got to see the city and you went on and off. So I think looking at the transportation in San Luis Obispo is really important, because we do need to get people out of their cars and into another way that works for all ages. Bicycling, not my thing these days, but it's great for other people. So finding a way that we can get around our city safely. Housing, well, that goes into the open space, because there's considerations of going into some of our open spaces right now. And in fact, one of them, Froome Ranch area, is potentially a flood zone. So we really need to look closer at that. How many houses more can we build, and what is it going to do to the population, the exposure, the climate change? I just feel we're at this place, especially with what's going on, to slow down. San Luis Obispo, slow down, and let's think about where we're going.
The second question is, do you believe systemic racism exists in the city of San Luis Obispo? And if so, how do you intend to address that as mayor?
Well, to be honest, I do not think anything was intentionally intended here. I moved here in '74, and it's always been pretty a white population, probably because of Cal Poly. Myself, I've always befriended minorities, Latinos, and so I worked with the groups that you weren't that concerned. We didn't talk about it. I'm from LA. You talked about it more, and it was in the first integrated junior high in Southgate, California. So as a solution, I would say I'd have to work with the community to find out what their best method is. I don't have the solution. I don't know the feelings and what they are feeling, what is wanted, and how that will take place, because it needs to be comfortable. It needs to feel like it's happened naturally, not that it's being forced on people to where some people are angry about any changes that are happening. Change is always hard. So coming together, having a group meeting, committee meetings, a task force to work on it together is what I would do.
Okay. And why do you want to be mayor of San Luis Obispo right now?
I think we're at a huge turning point with climate change and with talking about how we're going to build our community. And I live in a place where we've been surrounded by open space. We're now seeing 560 homes or whatever coming in. There's going to be probably a car for every single one of those. They're talking about having another a Froome Ranch area, another 600 homes. There's going to be another 600. Those are cars. That's smog. That's air pollution. What are we going to do about it? We have bike lanes. We have more bike lanes now. I see actually fewer people. I don't know how we can shift that. And we need to think about pedestrians too. We're not seeing a lot of people walking. We have safe enough areas where people feel like walking, whether it's in Laguna Lake or downtown San Luis Obispo out to the airport. So there's those are the things that I want to look at, because I feel like people feel left out. They don't realize that they themselves can be involved. Every single person that's become a member of the city council was just a regular person in our community, and they stepped up. And now I'm stepping up instead of sitting back and watching.